All right, everybody. Well, welcome to our podcast. It's titled "If You Want to Be One, Ask One." And one of the reasons that we put this together was that there's a lot of questions around the CUSP and the USOLN. And as I travel across the country, speaking at different events and stuff, I get asked quite often, about the CUSP and what it is. And so we just wanted to get together and have a little conversation and share some of our experiences with you and some of the questions we get. And that way we can go ahead and answer them for you and hopefully help you either maintain the CUSP that you currently have or help you get it either way. And for me, it's kind of a funny story, actually. When I was being hired by Empirical, which is who I work for now, it took about, 3 weeks, I guess, to go through the hiring process. And so I'm just sitting at home and answering their emails and their texts and stuff throughout the day, questions, about my certifications and such. And I get an email from he's our director of operations. And he asked me a question. He said, do you have a CUSP or can you get one? And I'm going to be honest, I thought he misspelled it. I honestly thought he meant CSP, which, as many of you know, the Board of Certified Safety Professionals has a CSP, an ASP, and a bunch of other ones. I've been a CHST, a Construction Health and Safety Technician, for a long time through the Board of Certified Safety Professionals. So when I first saw the initial CUSP on the email, I honestly thought he made a mistake. And so I replied back that, I thought he meant CSP. I said, no, I don't have a CSP, but I am a CHST. Come to find out, there was an actual certification designated specifically for the guys and gals like me who are in the utility industry. And it's the CUSP, a Certified Utility Safety Professional. And back in 2019, I became one myself, and quite a few coworkers here at our office. A lot of us took the test and became one. This was back when they used to do it live and in person. This was pre-COVID, and now almost everything's done online. But back then, Carla and Mac Turner and some others came here to our office, and we set up a class, and it was 2 days long, and we all did the prep and everything already online, and it was a great experience. So I ended up becoming a CUSP, and just a few months before that, didn't even know what it stood for. So, we have with us Shawn Talbot, and Shawn is our Shawn, what's your title? Director of
CUSP Program Director.
There we go. CUSP Program Director. So we have Shawn with us, and Shawn's like me. She travels all over the country, and we get asked a lot of questions. So, Shawn, if you had to come up with just one, what's the question you get asked the most when it comes to the CUSP?
Really, why this certification is unique, how it differs from other safety certifications out in the industry, and people really jumping on board and becoming excited when they realize that this is the only certification that's designed specifically for safety practices within the utility industry. And that is unique. And it brings a variety of people together from different backgrounds who have different roles, responsibilities, and experience in the utility industry. And then being able to measure that and taking all these individuals with these diverse backgrounds and being able to say, here is a core group of folks who have gone above and beyond, and they understand and have a broad range of knowledge, skills, and abilities specifically in the utility work environment, is what makes this such a valuable certification. And again, one of its kind, and really excited about the growing number of people that are are part of this community of certified above and beyond, job requirements, who've taken that extra step throughout the U.S. and Canada also.
Yeah. And, Shawn, as you know, I've been doing this health and safety thing for almost 30 years. And by far, my favorite part of the CUSP is that there is a blue CUSP and a green CUSP.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you new to this, what that means is, so the CUSP green is for the safety geeks like me, right? So if you're if you're in a safety role and have been in a safety role, then you would do the CUSP green. And for those of you that have been in safety for any period of time, one of the biggest challenges we face is to get the operations side of our business to buy into safety, to support us, right? Well, what they did with the CUSP is they made a CUSP blue. And that's for those guys. That's for the operations side of the house. So here at Empirical, our construction managers are all certified utility safety professionals. Our director of operations, about half of our project managers, they're all CUSP. And I'm not saying anything bad about the Board of Certified Safety Professionals, the BCSP. It's a great organization, and they have some great certifications. They're broad certifications. They're specific to all of construction or all of occupational health. It's again, that's not a bad thing, but it's only for safety people. There's nothing there for operations. And what I found is that when our construction operations side gets that CUSP behind their name, the level of support and the level of excitement around safety just it goes up, immensely. It's really, really a cool thing to watch. So a lot of times I get asked from the CU, what about the CUSP? And the next question I usually get is, well, what does the USOLN do? And for those of you that are new to this, the USOLN is the Utility Safety and Operations Leadership Network. And that covers both sides, operations and safety, as in the name. And the USOLN, it's a nonprofit. I sit on the board for them. There's each board member has their different thing that they do for the organization. Mine just happens to be marketing. I think they let me do that one because I like to talk more than most. But they invited me to do that, and it's an honor to sit on that board. But the other question that I get, after we start talking CUSP stuff, is, well, what's this USOLN thing? And so I explained to them, the backstory of it, right? Carla Hausch, comes from a publishing background. She comes in and she starts the UBM, Utility Business Media, and out of that saw a need for a certification specific to the utility industry, like Shawn said a minute ago. And in order to certify people, they created the USOLN out of the need to start certifying. And it became basically the USOLN is the Board of Certified Safety Professionals. It's the same thing. It's a certifying body that certifies all CUSPs green and blue. So it's an honor to sit on that board. And, Shawn and I get to talk, a couple times a week usually about this stuff. Shawn, do you ever get questions like that about the USOLN?
I do. And what the difference is, as you've mentioned, Rod, between the USOLN and the CUSP program. And USOLN, as you've indicated, in a nutshell, is a nonprofit organization that strictly administers the CUSP certification. And so all of its endeavors, all of its resources are predominantly geared toward ensuring that the CUSP program has credibility, is rigorous, and meets the needs of industry professionals throughout the country and again, Canada. So yes, thank you for answering that question, Rod. And there are numerous other questions I think that come up. Some people wonder, okay, well, I'm so excited about this program, or my company is requiring it. So how do I begin the process? And I wanted to mention during our conversation here that USOLN.org is the key resource to be able to go. And it is a repository of information for people to learn what is contained within the endorsements. And I'm happy to provide a little additional information about those endorsements. What is the difference between the blue and the green base exam? How do I become certified? How do I maintain my certification? All of those different questions are contained right on the USOLN website. And I'm happy to go into more detail. Is there anything that you wanted to add to that, Rod?
I'm going to give them that website one more time. It's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's www.usoln.org, correct?
You got it. Yes.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. There you have it. There's frequently asked questions on there. There's a ton of resources on there. And, one of the things, once we get into the conversation of CUSP and USOLN and so on, one of the questions that I get, well, man, that sounds really great. How do I do it? How do I become one? Or, how do I get my company excited or able to, how do I get them involved so that they'll support me in becoming one? And some of that information's on there. There's, information about, how to sell it to your company, basically, how to get them involved and get the support you need to become a CUSP. And I mean, again, there's a wealth of knowledge on there. And, when you finally do, and you're able to put those letters behind your name, that lets everyone in the utility industry. Now, I happen to work in the electric utility side, but we have, out of all of our members, we have people that work in water. We have people that work in the natural gas side of things. We have, arborists that, clean the right of ways and stuff. I mean, there anything you can imagine in the utility world, there's somebody in our organization that does that. And what's really cool about it is, just, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, I think, I was on the phone with the famous Jim Vaughn. I mean, and any of you guys that have been around anytime, you definitely know who Jim is. If you haven't, you will get to know who Jim is. Great guy. And when it comes to transmission and distribution side of the electrical utility, Jim has forgot more about that stuff than I'll ever know. He's a wealth of knowledge. But I that's what's great. I don't have that side. Most of my background comes from power generation. But when I have questions, I call Jim. Hey, Jim, and he's right there, Or if I have a question about something else, I'll call David McPeak, or I'll call, you have this network of people that all specialize in certain aspects of the utility, and they're at your fingertips. You just give them a shout, and we're all one big family, and we help each other out. But there's so many advantages to being able to put those letters behind your name. Not only do our clients now look at us as a company head and shoulders above most because of the fact that we've taken that step and made requirements that our construction side become CUSPs, but also knowing that, you hear safety first. You hear that all the time. And I ask people throughout the country when I'm speaking, you hear it, but I mean, let's be honest. What do you expect them to say? Safety second. You're not going to hear that. So safety first is just something that I personally think is overused. But when you and your company join the USOLN and then go through the CUSP program, that shows all of your clients and your competitors that, oh, wow, look at this. These guys are really serious about it. So one of the last things that I did want to make sure we cover, Shawn, that you can help us out with, if you don't mind. Tell the listeners if they want to become a CUSP, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So after an individual, and really on the USOLN website, there's a list of the eligibility that you've referenced, Rod, for both the blue and the green. I would suggest that folks take a look at that and see which track is going to be more applicable to their background and their experience. And then from there is an application link on the Earn CUSP pull down menu on the website. And again, usoln.org. And you can simply go to that link and begin the process of submitting an application online. Now, the applications are reviewed by a committee. These are subject matter experts and folks who are in the industry. And upon approval, everyone is guided to selecting exam dates. The exam is online with the exception of twice a year. And coming up, we have an exam in person in Glendale, Arizona on November 7th. We will have another one in May in Schaumburg, Illinois in 2023. Otherwise, the exams are online and we guide individuals every step of the way through that process. And it's as simple as that. And upon passing one base exam and one of the endorsements that you've referenced, and again, those endorsements range from electrical, the electric transmission and distribution, T&D, to power generation, civil, gas, and then the utility line clearance arborist, ULCA endorsement. So upon passing one of the base exams and one endorsement, an individual is a CUSP. And it really is as simple as clicking that application link on the website.
There you go, guys. That's where you start. If you're interested, it's the www.usoln.org. Click on it and start your application. I know sometimes they get backed up because they get, tons of applications in at once, but I promise you within a couple of days, you'll hear back if you've been approved. And if you've been in the industry for a few years, in any type of safety related function or an operations related function that has some safety duties, and you've been in it, 3 or 4 years, you'll meet those qualifications. So you just fill out the stuff, send it in, let them review it, and then your next step is, like she said, start. There's study material, there's practice exam, there's all kinds of stuff on there that you can do, and then when you're ready, it's at your own pace. I don't know about you guys, but like me, 4 or 5 days ago, things were, relatively slow, I guess you'd say. And now Hurricane Ian is about to hit Florida, and we go from, normal work stuff to just full on craziness. Well, I mean, if I was in the middle of studying for the CUSP right now, it would have to get put on hold. Well, that's okay. You can do that. Something comes up, you can put it on hold for a little bit. And as soon as you're ready, go back, finish studying it, get signed up to take one of the exams. If online is your thing, do that. But like Shawn mentioned, we do offer at our 2 conferences, we do 2 a year. And that they, vary where they're at, but you can come to one of the conferences if you want and take the test there. And then another great thing, you have to maintain points every couple of years in order to maintain your certification. And all you have to do is go to 2 conferences. If you go to 2 conferences during that period of time, you've got enough points to maintain. And, you do get credit for a lot of other things too, courses you may take or trainings you may do, or, there's a lot of ways to earn points. It's not hard, I promise. We have project managers and construction managers that spend 90+% of their time in the field on a project site, and they're able to maintain it. So it's not hard. But Well, Shawn, I'm going to turn it over to you to close this out. And, guys, thank you so much for listening to us. I'll be at the conference in Glendale as well as Shawn, and hope to see you guys there. But Shawn, I'll turn it over to you for if you want to close it out.
Certainly. Well, thank you, Rod. And we really appreciate your insider experience and perspective about the CUSP program, about having the certification, what it's meant to you, and how it's benefited you. And I just wanted to say that in addition to wonderful people like Rod and his colleagues, we have staff at USOLN that are available to help guide you through the certification process. We'll answer any questions that you have, and we're happy to guide you to all those many, many resources. So please reach out to us, the CUSP program office, and you can reach us. We're here, we're available and willing to help, and look forward to seeing many of you at our upcoming conferences, as well as helping you achieve that hugely, tremendously valuable and well-regarded and known certification, CUSP. So we're here for you, and look forward to having an opportunity to talk with you and provide information. And Rod, thank you again for your time today. Really appreciate your perspective and your insights.
Absolutely, Shawn. It's been my pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
The views, information, and opinions expressed during this podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Utility Business Media and its employees. It is strongly recommended that you discuss any actions or policy changes with your company management prior to implementation.